Dominion Energy is building 2 natural gas pipelines in Virginia. You have said they should go through a strict environmental review. You have not, however, opposed them. A recent Washington Post article suggests your neutrality on this issue is strategic. Dominion has some 76,000 employees in Virginia. They got a letter from their chief executive urging them to vote, but many Virginians would like to hear you come down on one side or the issue or another. Do you think this project is good for Virginia or not? And if it is good, who benefits?
Well, my position is realistic, Kojo, and there are things that we can do from a regulatory point of view at the state level. We have the DEQ, which I have worked with Department of Environmental Quality.
Oh, thank you very much.
No
Sounded like Dairy Queen to me.
No. But I've been working with them to establish what we call a site-specific permitting process versus a blanket permit. So we want to make sure if the pipeline moves forward that it's done with transparency and science. So I have done everything that I can working through our regulatory process. At the end of the day, and this is really what Virginians need to know, this is an interstate project. It comes from West Virginia through Virginia into North Carolina, and FERC, which is a federal agency, will make the final decision. So for anybody to want to usurp the regulatory process that we have in place to go around that, I think sends a bad message to the business community, and it's certainly not a position that the lieutenant governor or the governor should take. So we want it done with transparency and science. We want it done making sure that we respect people's property rights. But at the end of the day, if those things are in place and FERC decides that they want to move forward with it, the pipeline will move forward in Virginia.
There are those who do not trust FERC. Put on your headphone, please, because you'll explain that in a second, because that is what Lauren in Richmond, Virginia wants to talk about. Lauren, what is FERC?
Thank you so much for allowing me to speak on your show, Kojo, and thank you so much to the Lieutenant Governor for answering our questions. I just wanted to note that the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission has been presented with numerous pipelines over the decades that it's been tasked with regulating these pipelines, and it has approved every single one except for one. And a lot of the funding for the commission actually comes from industry partners, and actually comes from the profit that they make off of building those natural gas pipelines. And due to its history and its neglect of people's demands for better support in litigating for environmental protections through those processes, through offices that have been approved by Congress, due to that history, I wanted to know, Lieutenant Governor, if you honestly think that FERC is better prepared to defend Virginians or better situated to defend Virginians than the office of the governor, and if...
Okay, allow me to have him respond.
Well, Lauren, thank you for the question. And again, it goes back to what I was saying. FERC, I don't have any control, nor does our governor, over how they make their decisions. We have control over our regulatory processes that are already in place, and that, as I've just described or explained to you, was through the DEQ. So we're doing everything that we can at the state level. I don't have influence over FERC, and so we need to be realistic with people and know that at the end of the day, it's going to be FERC that makes that decision, not Virginia, not the governor, not the DEQ. So that's the reality.
We got an email from Boyd who said you've built a long-term relationship with Dominion Energy, have been taking close to $100,000 since 2008, including $20,000 this cycle. You've also had private meetings with Dominion that you refuse to talk about. How can we trust you to make decisions about Virginia's energy future?
Well, first of all, there have been no private meetings with Dominion, and I'm not sure where that came from. I think